It was a cold winter evening. The city lights were bright, but the streets were quiet. People rushed to get home. No one noticed the small boy sitting on the sidewalk, holding an old blanket close to his chest. His name was Jasper. He was only 12. Beside him, a skinny dog curled up, trying to stay warm. The dog's name was Shadow. Jasper had no home, no family, just his dog in the streets. Jasper didn't beg much. He didn't like bothering people. He would collect plastic bottles or offer to clean car windows at traffic lights. He didn't care about money. He only wanted enough to buy some food for Shadow. One night, as rain started falling, Jasper saw a fancy car stop near the park. A woman stepped out. She looked lost. Her eyes were full of pain. She sat in the car, not moving. The rain hit her windshield hard. She didn't care. Her name was Elena. She was rich, very rich. But she wasn't happy. She was pregnant. Her fiancé had just left her. He said he didn't want the baby. He walked out, leaving her alone. That night, she had driven to the park with no plan. She just wanted to breathe. Suddenly, the car's lights went out. The engine was dead. Elena tried to start it again. Nothing. She tried calling for help. No signal. She opened the door and stepped into the rain, upset and scared. Jasper saw her. He hesitated, then stood up. He ran over with his dog. "Do you need help, ma'am?" he asked. His voice was soft but polite. Elena looked at him, wet, thin, and dirty, but kind. She nodded. "My car won't start." Jasper asked her to open the hood. He didn't know much about cars, but he tried. He cleaned some wires and pushed the car slightly to a better spot. Then he did something surprising. He took off his only blanket and handed it to her. "You're cold," he said. Elena didn't know what to say. No one had helped her in days. And now, this homeless boy had just given her the only thing he had. After a few minutes, the car finally started. Elena looked at Jasper. His dog wagged its tail. She said thank you softly, then drove away. But as she looked in the mirror, she saw Jasper and Shadow walking back into the dark alley. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the boy who had nothing, but gave her everything. The next morning, Elena couldn't stop thinking about the boy. She sat at her kitchen table, staring at her coffee. She had everything: money, a mansion, cars. But she felt empty. That boy, Jasper, had something she lost long ago: kindness. She got into her car and drove back to the park. She looked around, hoping to find him. After walking through wet streets and quiet corners, she finally saw him. Jasper was sitting near a bakery, sharing a small piece of bread with his dog. Elena walked up slowly. Jasper stood up, nervous. "I didn't steal anything," he said quickly. Elena smiled. "I know," she replied. "I came to say thank you." She handed him a paper bag, fresh food, warm clothes, and a dry blanket. Jasper looked at the bag, then at her. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. Elena took a deep breath. "Because last night, you reminded me what real kindness looks like." From that day, Elena visited Jasper and Shadow almost every evening. She brought them food and sat with them on a bench. They talked. Slowly, they opened up. Jasper told her about his past. He had been in foster homes, but they weren't good. One family was cruel. He ran away at 10 and had been living on the streets since then. Shadow was the only one who stayed with him. They were all each other had. Elena listened. She didn't judge. She shared her own pain too. Her fiancé had left her the moment he found out she was pregnant. He didn't want a child. He wanted freedom. Elena cried as she spoke, and Jasper quietly handed her his sleeve to wipe her tears. Over time, their bond grew stronger. They were from different worlds, but both were lonely. Both had been abandoned. They understood each other without needing many words. One evening, Elena offered something big. "I have a guest house. It's safe. You and Shadow can stay there." Jasper froze. His eyes filled with fear. "Will you take Shadow away?" he asked. Elena shook her head. "Never," she said. "I promise." But Jasper still said no. He didn't trust easily. "I've seen what happens when people say kind things and then take everything away," he whispered. Elena nodded. She didn't push him. She just said, "I'll come back tomorrow. Only if you want me to." That night, Elena realized something. The boy who lived on the streets had just become the most honest part of her life. Days passed, then weeks. Elena and Jasper met almost every day. She brought him books. He loved to read. She even taught him basic writing. Shadow always sat close, wagging his tail. Elena started seeing Jasper like her own child. She watched him care for the dog, eat little so Shadow had more. She saw a boy who had never known love, but still gave it freely. She wanted to help him, truly help. One night, Elena spoke to her lawyer. "I want to adopt him," she said. "He needs a home. He needs school. A real life." The lawyer nodded, but warned her. "You'll need his background. His papers. The child welfare office will get involved." So, Elena hired someone to find out where Jasper came from. She thought it was the right thing, but she never told Jasper. 2 days later, Jasper sat on his usual bench with Shadow. A black car stopped nearby. Two well-dressed people stepped out. A man and a woman. "Hello, Jasper," they said kindly. "We're from Child Services. You're coming with us." Jasper froze. His face turned pale. Shadow growled. "No," Jasper said, backing away. "I didn't do anything." But they moved closer. One of them said, "A nice woman called Elena asked us to help you." Jasper's heart sank. Elena? The only person he trusted? He didn't wait. He ran. Shadow followed. Through back alleys, under bridges. Rain poured again. Jasper kept running. He felt sick, betrayed, hurt. Elena got the call hours later. "The boy ran away," they said. Her heart dropped. She raced to the park, but Jasper was gone. That night, Jasper and Shadow hid near an old railway station. Jasper cried into Shadow's fur. "I thought she cared," he whispered. "I thought she was different." Meanwhile, Elena sat in her empty living room. She stared at the paper the lawyer gave her. Adoption steps, waiting for the child's approval. She never meant to hurt him. She only wanted to give him a better life. But now, she had lost him. Jasper and Shadow spent 2 nights hiding under a broken bridge. It was cold. They had no food. Shadow's leg had a deep cut from glass. He limped badly. Jasper tried to clean it with dirty water, but it didn't help. Shadow cried softly in pain. Jasper blamed himself. "I should have stayed away from rich people," he whispered. "They always take something in the end." He held Shadow close. The dog licked his face, trying to comfort him even in pain. Back at her mansion, Elena was a mess. She hadn't eaten or slept. She searched the city with her driver. She showed pictures of Jasper and Shadow to everyone. Shopkeepers, guards, street sweepers. Most people said no. Some just looked away. Finally, a fruit seller remembered. A small boy and a dog limping that way. He pointed toward the old railway station. Elena rushed there. After hours of searching, she found them under the bridge. Jasper saw her and stood up quickly. "Leave us alone," he shouted. Shadow barked weakly. Elena stopped. Her eyes were full of tears. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said gently. "I made a mistake. I should have asked. I wanted to protect you." Jasper looked down. His face was tired. Shadow collapsed beside him. "He needs help," Jasper whispered. Without another word, Elena stepped forward and picked Shadow up. "Come, please," she said. "Let me make it right." She took them both home. For weeks, Elena cared for Shadow day and night. She hired a vet. Shadow slowly recovered. Jasper saw it all. She didn't leave. She didn't blame him. She was there every single day. Jasper finally spoke. "You didn't give up." Elena smiled. "Neither did you." He agreed to stay in the guest house. Elena didn't rush him. She let him take his time. She enrolled him in homeschooling. She bought him notebooks and a soft bed for Shadow. She cooked meals with him. They laughed for the first time in weeks. Then one quiet night, Elena went into labor. Jasper found her crying in pain in the hallway. He didn't panic. He called the driver. He held her hand all the way to the hospital. Shadow sat beside her feet. When the baby was born, Elena looked at Jasper and said, "You saved me again." She named her baby girl Hope. Jasper looked at the baby with wide eyes. He smiled. "She's beautiful," he said. Elena looked at him. "So are you." That night, in a warm home filled with quiet joy, a homeless boy, his dog, a baby girl, and a once lonely woman shared something they all had missed for years: family. Jasper was now 14. He looked healthier, stronger, and more confident. He wore clean clothes. He spoke clearly. He helped in the kitchen, played with baby Hope, and studied hard every day. Shadow, though older and slower, was always by his side. Elena had changed too. She smiled more. Her house felt like a home now, not just a mansion. She started a small charity to help homeless children, inspired by Jasper. She often told friends, "He saved me when I was at my lowest. Now, I want to do the same for others." But happiness doesn't stay untouched forever. One morning, a man showed up at Elena's front gate. He wore an expensive suit and sunglasses. It was Brandon, her ex-fiancé, and the father of baby Hope. He hadn't seen her since the night he left her pregnant. Now, he wanted to be part of the child's life. Elena was shocked. "Why now?" she asked coldly. Brandon smirked. "You've built a good image. Helping street kids. Raising a child. You're all over the news. I just want what's mine." Elena refused. "You left us. You don't get to walk back in." Brandon got angry. "Then I'll take you to court. You're not even fit to be a mother. You let a street boy and his dog live with you. Let's see what a judge thinks of that." Jasper overheard everything. His heart raced. For the first time in 2 years, he felt fear again, not for himself, but for Hope, for Elena, for everything they built together. Soon, the legal fight began. Brandon filed for custody. He claimed Elena was unstable. He even accused Jasper of being dangerous, saying she brought a wild, homeless kid into her baby's life. It was cruel. It was unfair. But it was happening. The media picked up the story. Reporters stood outside the gates. Neighbors whispered. Jasper felt the weight. "Maybe I should leave," he told Elena quietly one night. "Maybe I'm ruining everything." Elena knelt beside him. "No, Jasper. You're part of this family. We fight together." The courtroom date was set. Elena would have to prove she was a fit mother. Brandon would try to tear her down. And Jasper, still just a boy, would be called to testify. The courtroom was full. Lawyers, reporters, and strangers filled the benches. Elena sat on one side, holding baby Hope. Jasper sat quietly beside her. Shadow lay under his chair, older now, but still loyal. Brandon entered in a sharp suit, smiling like he had already won. The judge entered. The trial began. Brandon's lawyer spoke first. "Your Honor, my client is a successful businessman. He wants to be a part of his daughter's life." Miss Elena, on the other hand, allowed a homeless boy and a street dog to live in her mansion. This environment is not stable, not safe. He showed pictures of Jasper before Elena met him. Dirty, barefoot, on the streets. The crowd murmured. Then it was Elena's turn. She stood up calmly. Her voice was steady. "Yes, I brought Jasper into my home. But he brought me back to life. When no one else cared, he helped me. He gave me hope when I had none. And thanks to him, I became a better mother, a better human being." Then came the moment everyone waited for. Jasper was called to the stand. He stood slowly. Shadow followed and quietly lay at his feet. The judge looked at the boy. "You may speak." Jasper looked around. So many eyes on him. He took a deep breath. "I was 12 when I met Elena," he began. "I had no home, no food, just my dog Shadow. People walked past me like I was nothing. But she didn't." He paused. His voice cracked a little. "She gave me food, yes. Clothes, too. But more than that, she gave me something I never had. A family. A reason to wake up each day." He turned to Brandon. "You left her when she needed someone most. I was just a kid, but I stayed. I didn't have anything. Still, I stayed." Silence filled the room. Then something surprising happened. Shadow stood up and placed his paw gently on the judge's table. A soft gasp spread through the crowd. The judge smiled slightly. After a few more questions, the court took a short break. Minutes later, the judge returned with the decision. After careful review, full custody remains with Miss Elena. The court finds her home safe, loving, and full of moral value. Case closed. Elena broke into tears. She hugged Jasper tightly. Hope giggled in her arms. Even Shadow gave a happy bark. Brandon left the courtroom quietly. Defeated. Weeks later, Elena officially adopted Jasper. A small celebration was held in her backyard. Simple, warm, full of joy. Jasper gave a speech at Elena's charity event soon after. He stood on stage, looking confident. Shadow lay beside the podium. He ended with one sentence. "Sometimes, it takes someone who has nothing to show us what truly matters." The crowd stood and clapped. Elena cried softly. Hope clapped too, not knowing why, but feeling the love. The camera slowly fades out on a small family, once broken, now whole. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Broken Heart Paw Prints, share it with someone who still believes in kindness. And if you've ever been helped or helped someone, comment below and tell us your story. Remember, the smallest act of kindness can change a life forever. Subscribe for more emotional stories like this. Until next time, stay kind.